Regardless of the fate of the proposed $2,000 check, a relief bill is signed and money is on its way to the American people, just not as much as President Trump says he'd want. For more, let's bring in MoneyWatch senior reporter Stephen Gandel. Stephen, thank you for joining us this morning. So if Congress ends up approving the $2,000 stimulus checks, where will that money be coming from, and what are economists saying?
Well, the money comes from the future. I mean, it adds to our debt. The cost of taking it from $600 a person to $2,000 a person is it's estimated somewhere between $400 billion and $450 billion. And economists, even liberal economists, are kind of split on it. Larry Summers, who was in the Obama administration, he says upping the checks to $2,000 is a bad idea. It's going to go to a lot of people who don't actually need that money. Paul Krugman, on the other hand, says it's a good idea. It'll make it's popular. It'll make other parts of the stimulus bill, which some people are wary about, more popular, and people need it. There's not everyone. The studies show that somewhere between 40% of Americans and 60% of Americans need this check because of what the pandemic has done to their finances. There's about 53% of Americans who will get the checks. So depending on your estimate, it either goes to more people that need it or a little bit fewer people that need it.
Yeah, this debate really reminds me of what happened during the beginning phases of the Great Recession, where there was this debate about, well, what did we learn during the Great Depression? Was that, the government didn't put enough money into the economy. And so how do you pump up an economy? And so this is the same kind of debate, isn't it, Stephen?
I agree. I think we all kind of know that $600 a person is not enough. It's half of what people got before. It's well below what we heard from a lot of people is that they've cut back on everything, but they couldn't cut back on Christmas. And we know the average American family spends about $1,200 on Christmas. So that's debt they're going to have to get themselves out of. We know there's millions of Americans that now this bill extends the foreclosure moratorium, but when that's out, they're going to owe thousands of dollars. And the average American, their expenses are about $5,000 a month. And we're looking at, for the 9 million people who are unemployed, we're looking at, I don't know, another 3 months, maybe more, before the economy starts to look more normal. And so we know the $600 is not enough. The $2,000 per person, so we're talking about maybe for a family of four, $8,000. That might be too much. But I think you're right. What we've learned from past recessions that going too little, that was a mistake.
Yeah, I kept hearing people say, you got to go big, you got to go big. I think the bottom line, though, for the average American family right now, especially those who are struggling, is when will they see these checks and who is eligible? So
the Treasury Department has been promising for the $600 checks that they would be showing up immediately. That for people who are getting the check mailed, today actually is the first day that the checks will start going out. And the Treasury Department says that over the next week, if all of your ducks are in the row, that you'll start seeing your checks coming into your bank accounts. Now, last time around, they said the same thing. And for some people, a lot of people got their checks quickly, but for some people, it took months. So it's hard to say. They're promising quickly. If the $2,000 check becomes more realistic, that could hold up. They may wait to send out the $600 check until we know a little more. Who's eligible? It's more people actually than the last check. More children are now eligible. But if you have a college student, that college student is ineligible. If you have an elder family member living at home who you claim, even if you claim them as dependent on your taxes, that person is ineligible. But many people are eligible. It's any American, any working adult, and any child under 17 is eligible for this $2,000 check.
All right, well, hopefully the people who need it will get their money as soon as possible. I'm always floored when I see those long lines of cars lined up to get food, so people are really in need. Stephen Gandel, thank you.